What's up, everybody? This is a combined show. It's Uncovered, Raiders, Jags. We're getting down to we're a minute 16 left. The Raiders are currently winning 19-14. Jacksonville has the ball at their own 47. Mac Jones back, and he's taken down. He got rid of the ball. But Trevon Mayrig on a safety blitz comes in. There's a flag on the play. So what you're going to get right now is a live reaction of what happens in this game. So here are the implications. Right now, the Raiders have 2 wins and the Jaguars have 3 wins. Obviously, if the Jags win this game, they both move to 3 wins. But in terms of worst record, the Raiders would have a tiebreaker and drop below the Jaguars in the top draft race. If the Raiders lose this game, they keep pace with the New York Giants. There are so many implications of that. Number one being we need a quarterback, but do we really want one in this draft? So if we drop a little bit by winning this game, and Travis Etienne to the 40-yard line, 58 seconds, 59 seconds left. Anyway, I don't necessarily want a quarterback in this draft. If we have a top 5, top 6 pick, I don't want Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. I want Travis Hunter. If the Jaguars wind up with like the second or third pick, they're not taking a quarterback. They're taking Travis Hunter. So this is essentially a Travis Hunter sweepstakes game. And I have laid out who I want in that part of it. So the Raiders have a chance. They can keep the first or second spot. I think they're in the first spot due to record, but then since they have the same record as the New York Giants, it would go to tiebreak. Since they haven't played head-to-head, then it would go by strength of schedule, and the Giants have the advantage there. That was a that was a 4th down play, and Jacksonville failed. It was a little swing pass, and they came up short. Raiders win, you guys. The Raiders won a game. Of course, it's against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, all right. Jacksonville has two timeouts. There's 52 seconds left. The Raiders are gonna hand off. No victory formation per se. Madison for 3 or 4. Jacksonville stops the clock. All right. So crazy. One of the things that I wanted to do when we started this whole Uncovered endeavor was I wanted to be available to jump on and do instant reactions at the end of games. And so I think I've accomplished that at this point. But I'm taking a page from a guy that I follow on Twitter. His name is Big Corey, a.k.a. Mike Tyson. It's at Big Corey on Twitter. He makes the best highlight videos that I've ever seen. But his thing is he only does it when the Raiders win. So look for Big Corey to release a video probably Tuesday. So I kind of followed suit thinking, I'll just jump on here when the Raiders win. So this is literally the 3rd time that I've jumped on, which is totally horrible. Anyway, if you're here, go ahead and like and subscribe and hit the bell and all that stuff. You probably are already, because I don't think I promoted this one at all. I just put it up on YouTube and on Twitter. But tomorrow night, Monday night, the Undroppables, we are hosting our office Christmas party. It'll be like a live stream. All as many of the content creators as we can get on the stream at once during the Monday Night Football game. And this is kind of a brainchild. I was talking to my partner, Mike Greinberg, and we kind of like, he was talking about his wife's office Christmas party. And I was like, well, for some of us who don't have an office, like we don't get a Christmas party. So I organized one and invited everybody in the Undroppables. And kind of the cool thing about it is that you're going to have these, content creators and fantasy analysts and stuff, and we're all going to be watching the Monday Night Football game. But we're all in a ton of leagues together, and we have a lot of head-to-head matchups. So as playoff wins are happening, you're going to be able to watch us drunk as hell reacting to that. A1. Nice rookie battle between BTJ and Brock Bowers. Absolutely. The game is now final. 19-14. Raiders win at home. It's Raiders Twitter is absolutely bereft right now because they think that there's actually like gold at the top of this draft. For quarterback needy teams, this is not the year, bro. Think back to 2022 when there was like Kenny Pickett went first at quarterback 20, Desmond Ridder and Matt Corral. I don't think that this quarterback class is quite that bad, but it's pretty bad. So I've said a bunch on the show. I scout quarterbacks, and especially for the Raiders recently. And I've been a lifelong Pac-10 football fan. So I watch a lot of Pac-10 football. And a couple of years ago, I watched a lot of Bo Nix and a lot of Michael Penix. And like watching their game tape and watching some other people break down their games, they did a lot of they were in air raid type or open offenses where their reads were limited and they tended to stare down receivers. Their footwork wasn't great. Their arm action wasn't great. They didn't square up their shoulders all the time. And so the first season, 2022, that I really kind of like broke it down with those two guys, I was not impressed. They were still seniors at the time. So there was a chance that they would declare, but they didn't. And they went back to school for 2023. And I wound up watching every single Washington Huskies football game that year. And I watched a bunch of Oregon as well. And so I watched a lot of Bo Nix and Michael Penix. And one thing that struck me going into last year's draft was that both of them had cleaned up the things that were kind of drawbacks. Now, Bo Nix is still kind of out there. He checks down a lot. He doesn't have a very, very long average depth of target. But Michael Penix looked really good. He throws a good deep ball. He's got a strong arm, all that stuff. Both of them are mobile. And so if we took a quarterback at the top of the draft last year, I wanted Jaden Daniels, obviously, but Michael Penix or JJ McCarthy were my next two. And JJ McCarthy is what I think of when I think of Drake May. Michael Penix in 2022 is what I think of when I see Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. But there's one thing that we know about quarterbacks: when they're not good enough yet, it's hard to stick them in and win now. And I have the attitude that if you have a top 10 pick, you really need to be spending it on somebody who's going to impact your team right away. You don't take a 2 or 3 year project quarterback with your top 5 pick. And that's just my view of it. You want a Brock Bowers. You want a Jaden Daniels. You want somebody who's going to – now, Brock Bowers didn't turn the franchise around, but we've been watching over the course of the last 17 weeks in real time, or 16 weeks, how much of an impact he's made. He's immediate. He's about to break the Raiders franchise record for receptions. He's going to break the NFL's all-time yards in a season for tight ends. Having scouted him and done analysis and digging and stuff like that, his metrics were like top 4 wide receiver in the draft class, not just tight end. He was right there with Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Rome Odunze in his metrics as a receiver, on top of the fact that he's huge and blocks and stuff. A1 wants to know, what time is the office party? The office party will start. I will go live like right at the start of Monday Night Football. And so all of you are invited to watch, because it's going to be a good time. I'm going to be mixing some cocktails for myself. Obviously, it's just going to be a bunch of stream boxes, but I will be here and I'll be mixing cocktails. I've been developing a few new recipes, so I will be sharing those and stuff, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun, I think. Undroppables founder Chalk and I are head-to-head in this draft, or in this league. So this league we drafted at the Fantasy Football Expo in Canton, Ohio in August. And we had planned on doing it on the Sunday. And then Saturday night, we all went out to the bars, and we were ridiculously drunk. And we went back to the Unhouse, the Airbnb that the Undroppables had. And there were 8 of us, and we were like, well, let's just draft now. It was 4 a.m. and we were all hammered. So Chalk and Tommy ran out to Taco Bell, got like $75 worth of Taco Bell food and brought it back. And we started drafting. And the thing was, we didn't have computers. We didn't have draft lists. We didn't have cheat sheets. We didn't have anything. It was just straight top of the dome making picks, one after the other. And then, so we're getting down to it. And the final 4 wound up being Jax Falcone, one of the most respected fantasy analysts in the industry, Chalk, founder of the Undroppables, who literally wrote a book called The Art of Dynasty and is an absolute fantasy football sharp. And then myself and Mike Greinberg, we came out as the final 4 in the playoffs. And I was the 3 seed. Chalk was the 2 seed. So we went head to head this week. And so far in the matchup, Chalk's done, y'all. 164.26 points. I have 166.82 points for the week. I still have Jaden Reed to play tomorrow night. So, yeah. I love you, Chalk, but suck it. Drunken drafting can. I miss all the fun. Yes, FF Rabbit Dad. And it was the same. It was the following morning after draft night out. So we went to draft night out, and then we went to the whatever organized thing happened, and then we went to the bars, and then we went back to the house and did the draft. It was amazing. All right, so your boy just took down Chalk, the guy that wrote the book on Dynasty Fantasy Football. Go to the Undroppables website. Check out The Art of Dynasty by Chalk. It's phenomenal. I couldn't be prouder right now. I had originally planned, I threw Raider Damas, my Raiders Uncovered partner, threw him an invite for this instant reaction show. Also told Schultze, who does the Jaguars, we had the head-to-head live show the other day. And hit me up next time. Love drafting. Absolutely. I will see you in Canton. And it's just me. That's fine. I'm going to break down the game real quick and then get out of here. So we have, I hate ESPN. All I want to do is find the box score. And because everybody loves dead air. All right, here we go. Come on. All right, here we go. Raiders win 19-14. For the Jacksonville Jaguars, Mac Jones, 25 of 39 passing, 247 yards, 1 touchdown, only sacked once, 90.4 QB rating. Tank Bigsby, 12 rushes for 50 yards. He had a touchdown on the ground. In the receiving game, Brian Thomas Jr., 9 catches, 132 yards, and a touchdown. That's what helped me beat Chalk in the Dukes Classic. Parker Washington, 6 catches for 54 yards. He was very much in business today. Brenton Strange, who we thought was going to have a bigger game, only 4 targets, 2 catches, 22 yards. Travis Etienne, he had nine rushes for 22 yards and also 2 catches for 15 yards. So running back 4 in fantasy last year. And here we are, and he's been absolutely passed up by Tank Bigsby. 12 carries to 9. He does catch the ball more than Bigsby does. He was targeted 3 times, Bigsby 1. And that was about it on the Jaguars side, although Bigsby and Brenton Strange did lose 2 fumbles. Eric Armstead, who I coached at Pleasant Grove High School in Fall League Baseball, he had a sack. Mason Smith had a sack as well. On the Raiders side, Aiden O'Connell, 24 of 38, 257 yards. His prop on underdog that I picked was over 244. I thought he'd get closer to 300. 257 is fine. I thought he'd throw a couple touchdowns. He did not, but he still did well enough to win. And he had those 2 sacks. He was sacked twice. Amir Abdullah, 7 carries for 38 yards to lead the Raiders in rushing, and he had a rushing touchdown. Alexander Madison, 12 carries for only 27 yards. He was absolutely shut down. He is one of the most inefficient runners I've ever seen, and he came out with a touchdown as well. You know, you'll score some points when you get those goal line touches. Trey Tucker had an end around. Look at Aiden O'Connell's scoot. 7 carries for 12 yards, 1.7 yard average. And his long was 13. So he had 12 yards rushing, and his longest rush was 13 yards. All right. So those other 6 carries for -1. That's good, I think. Isn't that good? That's good, right? In the receiving game, Brock Bowers led the Raiders with 13 targets. He led all receivers on both sides with 11 catches. He had 99 yards. So any of you who are Saints fans or Chargers fans, and you're scouting, I don't know, want to know what to expect. There is a play that they run a lot for Brock Bowers when they in the back half of the red zone. So usually when they're around the 20-yard line or just a little bit inside. And what they like to do is they run him out of the slot, and he just runs an out. And it's usually kind of a mesh play. They'll send the wide receiver deep, and then Bowers will run an out underneath. And it's very successful almost every single time. And it was one of the first plays that he caught in the preseason in the game that they were playing against Minnesota. And there was a point where he caught the ball, and if he had planted his foot, defensive back tailing him would have crossed behind him, and if he had planted his foot and gone upfield, he would have gotten a touchdown. Now I've seen him make that catch now 4, 5, 6 times during the season, and they always get the ball out of bounds about the 6-yard line because he winds up going out of bounds. And it's driving me crazy because those are all plays that he could score touchdowns on. And I'm not saying that they're not scoring touchdowns because he's not planting his foot and cutting the ball upfield. I'm saying the way that they have the play designed, they need to give him a little bit more room because by the time he gets the ball, he's too close to the sideline. Use that further down the field when you're trying to drive, when you need a first down or something. But when you have that, when the goal line is there, like get him into the end zone, you guys, or use it from the 5 into the end zone. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying. Anyway, he had 11 catches, 99 yards, historic rookie season. Jaden Daniels today absolutely solidified his offensive rookie of the year status. 5 touchdown day to beat the Eagles. Granted, the Eagles were missing Jalen Hurts for most of the game. But yeah, it was a 2-man race, and I think Jaden Daniels just basically finished the race today. Amir Abdullah, 5 catches for 47 yards on 6 targets. He actually was out-targeted by Alexander Madison, who had 4 catches for 29 yards. So total yards from scrimmage, Madison had 56 on 16 touches, and Abdullah had 85 on 12 touches. Alexander Madison is not it, you guys. Jacoby Myers, 5 targets, only 2 catches. That made me sad because I had an over on him at 5.5 catches, I think. But the Jaguars defensive backs did a good job of kind of clamping him down. Trey Tucker also had 4 targets. Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker, both of their lines were almost exactly the same. They both had 2 catches for 41 yards, a 20.5 yard average. Terrace Marshall got a target, but not a catch. And Michael Mayer had a target and no catch as well. On the defensive side of the ball, Isaiah Polamau led everybody with 11 total tackles. He also had 2 punch-outs that led to fumbles. Nephew of Troy Polamalu, show out, kid. Way to go. Robert Spillane, 8 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. There was only 1 sack on the Raider side, and that was Clavon Chason, who is he has fought himself into a contract. Hopefully they bring him back because it'll be nice to have especially if they can't sign Malcolm Kuntz. But if they had Malcolm Kuntz, excuse me, Max Crosby back, Christian Wilkins, Tyree Wilson, and Clavon Chason, I like that. I like the idea of that. John Jenkins too, Adam Butler, bring him back. They have the makings. They have the makings of a good team. All they have to do, and here's the thing. So free agency happens before the draft, you guys. Let's go get Sam Darnold. Right? Because if we're only a quarterback away, Sam Darnold is a quarterback that would be the difference maker. And if we go and we sign Sam Darnold and we're still trash, Sam Darnold isn't the question, or the quarterback isn't the question. It's the rest of the team. But if we sign Sam Darnold, we can still put pieces together, building the rest of the team and not have to worry about losing out on Shedeur Sanders or whatever. Now, next week we have New Orleans. It's Derek Carr missed this week due to injury. I believe in my heart that he is working 150% on rehabbing his injury to play next week because it's Derek Carr revenge season. If he plays, I would love to see the Saints beat the Raiders, and then we have the Chargers, which we're going to lose. So worst case scenario as far as like draft position is we'll have 4 wins. That'll put us securely in the middle because I don't think New York is going to win a game. Jacksonville doesn't look like they're going to win a game. New Orleans, if we beat them, will hop over us. Tennessee, like, we're not in a good position now after this win. So this win is kind of like, I mean, it's good and it's bad. It's terrible if you wanted the number 1 draft pick because we're not going to get it. It was good if you wanted to see your team win, and who doesn't like to see their team win? FF Rabbit Dad, great to have a youngster. Great to have. Okay, let me do it this way. I said, sign Sam Darnold. He said, do it. He loves Darnold, and it's great to have. And he would be great to have while a youngster gets ready. Totally agree. And most importantly, it would let us know if that's where the problem lies with this team. I suspect it doesn't. So I don't want to use a draft pick on a quarterback that's not going to change anything. I want to sign a quarterback that can change stuff and continue to build the team. Yeah, so Raiders win 19-14, Jags lose. What a pillow fight today. And that's going to do it. Uncovered coming at you on Tuesday night, Christmas Eve. Undroppables office party extravaganza tomorrow night during Monday Night Football. Love to see you guys there. And that's about it for me. Thank you to A1 and FF Rabbit Dad for jumping in, and see you tomorrow. Thank you.